After you slide the wheel back on, put this one nut back on, leave it loose to where you have a gap in here, because that's where that fork has to fit. Go ahead and put the two washers, the lock washer, and the nut back on. Leave them loose. So you're going to have a nut and a lock washer, and then your two flat washers.
Make sure it's
separated. So you'll separate it here, and separate it here. And we have to get that to line back up with the fork.
Line up back with the fork.
The easy way to do this, you have very little clearance. Just take and get the front ones lined up, or the middle ones.
Get the middle one lined up first.
And then on your inside bolts, tighten those up to where this gets tighter. And keep doing it until they get tight. Alright, once those are tighter, then you can jack it up a little more, keeping those two center ones still attached. And this is where you want to get the outer bolts. This is the hardest part of it. Get those as tight as you can, so those can be tighter. So we'll keep going. You need every bit of space you can get on that center so that these outer pieces will fit. Okay, let me see if that's enough. Still not enough. Okay, nice and tight. That one's alright. We look like we might be good. And just go ahead and lower the jack of hair. Okay, that one's in. And this one's still sitting. So I'm going to, now that I've gotten it a little closer, I'm going to tighten this inside bolt up some. What this is doing is putting pressure on the center washers on the fork, and this should give me room. There we go. Very difficult. There we go. Now, this should drop in, lined up, the middle.
Line up. So one washer on the other one side of the fork, one washer on the other side of the fork.
Yep.
Same thing over here. And then same thing over here.
Yep. Then you just got to make sure you've got enough room here that when you drop it, it just drops right into place.
There you go. So now it's dropping into place, and
leave the jack. Leave the jack there. Just don't have to jack it very high. Just take. You want to keep the weight on the wheel, but you just want the jack there in case something happens and this shoots out. You don't drop it on you. And then the trick here is you start going reverse order. Tighten these up first. The inside nut, push it in, screw it in towards the wheel. As you do that, that will tighten the washers in the middle. So we'll start here.
The inside,
tighten.
Tighten the inside first.
Okay, you may have to go back and forth a couple times on these to get them to tighten down. The center is nice and tight. And now the trick is to tighten your outer ones, and that will cinch everything back down. And you'll notice as you tighten these, those forks will bend in and cinch these down tight on each other. Like right now, this is loose and has play in it. But
Just tighten those two nuts up and then you're good to go, right?
yes, do this. Jack it back up once you have it. Do a push test. Make sure you don't have any wiggle. Make sure you can turn them and nothing's in a bind. And this lock washer should bite pretty well here. That's it for that side. No matter how tight you get these wheels are on a bearing, so they will continue to spin. So don't think you have to leave it loose. And that's it.
Yeah, and they have bearings, so what happens is that the wheel will keep continuous to turn, to spin.
Yeah,
so
they are tight. That's just the style of the bearing. The bearings will be tight. But that's it.
All right.
And doesn't move. We're good to go. Lower her down. And you're done.
All righty.
Reinstall your cow catcher.